Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Shut Up and Read. Today I'll be doing another book tag, specifically the Midyear Freakout book tag. So anyways, let's just get right into it. So I guess it is now the time of the year where everyone just freaks out about the books that they read, the books that they haven't read, etc. And thank you so much to Madison and Katie for both tagging me for this book tag. And of course, I will link both of their channels down below for you guys to check them out. So the first question is, what is the best book you've read so far this year? So for me, it's a toss-up between two books. The first one would be A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmer. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And the second one would be Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This is a sci-fi novel that features a girl who's trying to become a pilot. And both of them were just so good in their own different ways. They're very different though. One's a retelling, one's a sci-fi novel, but I love both of them so much. The characters, the plot, all the adventure that they went on, everything about both of the books are just amazing, and I cannot recommend them enough. Question number 2, best sequel you read this year. So the issue is that I haven't really read that many sequels. I read a few sequels here and there, but a lot of them were the first book in a series or a lot of standalones, so of course I couldn't count any of those. But I think out of all the sequels I read this year, which is not very many to be honest, I would say The Wicked King by Holly Black. I am honestly so astounded by how much I adored The Wicked King. It was so good. I am trash for Jude and Carden. I just don't know what to say about it. I love their relationship even though it's very toxic, but somehow I am just trash for it regardless. I know it's toxic, and my realistic / older self was like, no, this is a terrible relationship. My younger teenage self is like, yes, I am all for that. So I don't know, but I loved it so much. I also love all the political and court intrigue with the Fays and the humans and just all the political things going on in the story as well. It's just so good. Like, it is just riveting. It is immersive. I could not stop reading this book. Then question number 3, a new release that you haven't read yet but want to. I decided to go with my most recent purchase / release, and that is Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. I just went to her launch event, I want to say like 2 weeks at this point now, and it is so good. Like, I just love everything about this book. It's about Korean mythology, it's about gumihos. It's supposed to be very similar to K-dramas but in a YA format, and I am just so psyched for that. And honestly, I'm just happy that there's yet another YA Asian fantasy book out there. I want to read this as soon as possible, so hopefully that happens soon, but I am really excited for this one. So question number 4, most anticipated book for the second half of the year. This is probably by far the easiest, and that is Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I literally just talked about how I love Wicked King, so obviously I'm like, I am dying for this third and final book to this trilogy because I need to know what happens next. I need to know more about what happens to Jude and Carden and just all that stuff. I feel like a lot of shit's gonna go down, and I am so down for that, so I'm really excited for this one. Next question, biggest disappointment of the year. So I have definitely read a lot of disappointing books this year, but I would say my biggest disappointment would be Descendant of the Crane by Joanne He. So the reason why I chose this book as my biggest disappointment of the year is because I just had such great high expectations going in. A lot of people who were reading it early were raving about it so much that I couldn't help but be really excited for it. And then I read it, and honestly, I just ended up giving it 2 stars. It's not like a terrible book. It's not like I gave it 1 star, but I was really highly expecting this book to be a 5-star read. So as a 2-star, it just seems so disappointing that this was definitely my biggest disappointment of the year. Question number 6, biggest surprise of the year. So for this one, I'm gonna go with Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, mainly because I read this book way back when it first came out ages ago. I don't remember when, but I didn't really like it. I gave it a 3-star, which is not terrible, but it was just okay. So I went in it kind of expecting to be about the same, average, mediocre, something like that. But I was blown away by how much I loved it. I loved the entire series. It was just so good. And I also talked about this book a little bit more in my books I read for the month of April, so I will link that above in case you want to check that out. But anyways, I was just so blown away by how much I love the series. It was just so good. I listened on audiobook. I was so entertained. I was so riveted. It was just such a good series, guys. I just cannot recommend it enough. Next question, new favorite author, either new to you or debut author. So for this one, it's a toss-up between 2 authors. Either it is Rebecca Ross or Brandon Sanderson. I'm not sure if Rebecca Ross is a debut author or not, but I did read The Queen's Rising recently, and it was so good. I also read the sequel, which is The Queen's Resistance, also really good as well. And of course, Brandon Sanderson for Skyward. And honestly, I just love both of their writing, just all the characters that they created, like all that stuff, just so good, guys. I mean, I need more books from these 2 authors. I'm going to try to pick up Mistborn soon by Brandon Sanderson because it is a book that's been on my list for a very long time. And as for Rebecca Ross, I think she has some other books coming out, but I don't think they are part of the world that she created for The Queen's Rising, which is kind of sad because I just want more of all the characters. They're just so good. But yeah, those are definitely 2 new to me authors for sure. I don't know if their debut though, especially for Rebecca Ross, but yeah, love them both so much. So the next question, I think this is question number 8, is newest fictional crush. So the thing is, I don't usually have fictional crushes. I feel like they end up being a little bit too young for me, and so I'm just not really into that. But there are two that I think are pretty high contenders. The first one would be Eden from Spin the Dawn. I just loved him so much. His dynamic with Maya, all the banter together, every time he's poking fun at her, I was just like, this is the most adorable thing ever. So either it'll be him or it'll be Gray from A Curse of Dark and Lonely, which I don't have the book with me, but it would be him because honestly, he was my bias in the book, guys. I was shipping him. I shipped him so much. I liked him actually more than the main guy. And I'm actually really excited for the sequel because I'm pretty sure it focuses on his point of view. So I am so excited for that. But yeah, it would either be Gray or Eden. I'm not really sure, but they're both very much my type if I was younger. Or if they were older, I guess. The next question is new favorite character. So for this one, I'm going to go with Veronica from Crown of Feathers. I think her character growth was one of the best I've ever read in a while. Just that transition from in the beginning when she was just a meek, quiet character to at the end when she learned to speak up and stand for herself was absolutely well done. So I don't know exactly if she's my favorite character, but I loved her character development. I love her character growth, her maturity, all that stuff. So she would be the best character that I have read in a while. Just like her development. So I don't know if she's my favorite, but I would, yeah, definitely put her up there. So question number 10, I think. A book that made you cry. So I don't typically cry on books, but there are two books I've read recently that definitely made me a little bit emotional. The first one would be The Nightingale by Chris and Hannah, and the second one would be Orange by Ichigo Takano. They're both very different, but they both made me so emotional. They're very heartbreaking, just devastating, and just they go through so much, guys. This is an adult fiction that's set in World War II, and it follows two sisters and just all the things that they go through during that time period in France that was occupied by the Nazis, and just so sad. Like, it was just heartbreaking to read all that stuff, and it was, her characters are always just so well done, and the plot, guys, the ending, goodness, yeah, that was a sad ending. Like, I had to reread it because I wasn't sure if I had read it correctly or if I missed something, but it was just a really sad book. It didn't make me cry, but it made me emotional. And then for this one, it's a manga. It's about a girl. It's kind of sci-fi-y, where it's about a girl where 10 years later in the future, or in the present day, I guess, she has this one big regret that happened to her way back when, back in high school. She ends up mailing a letter to herself way back when to tell her younger self about this great tragedy that's going to happen to one of her good friends and just how to prevent that. And this book was just so devastating as well. It was such a sad book, guys. Everyone was sobbing over it, but it was so well done. Like, I love the artwork. I love all the characters, their friendship, just everything that they were going through. It was just, these two books, guys, were definitely emotional. They didn't make me cry, but they were definitely emotional. Question number 11, a book that made you happy. This question was actually the hardest one for me because I don't usually have a book where it just makes me happy the entire time. I go through so many emotions while reading a book. I'm like frustrated, I'm annoyed with some of the characters and all that stuff. So there aren't really that many books where I'm just purely happy the entire time. But there is one book that I'm like, I feel like I remember being really adorable and I was relatively happy for most of the book. And that book is The Distance Between Us by Casey West. It's a YA contemporary, it's a fluffy novel. It was just a fun read, guys, and I was just laughing at certain things and just smiling to myself. So I definitely distinctly remember that I was very happy while reading this book. There are definitely some incidents, but I feel like for the most part I was very happy while reading this one. Question number 12, favorite book to movie adaptation. So initially I was so excited for this one because I was like, To All It Was in Love Before, obviously, but it came out in 2018, so anyways, I would probably say Aladdin. I haven't watched that many book to movie adaptations recently. Some of them I have watched. I haven't read the book, so I can't really tell, but maybe Aladdin, either that or maybe 5 Feet Apart. I actually did like that movie a lot. I thought it was really well done, but I never read the book, so I can't really compare. So either one of those two, to be honest. I'm not really sure. I just haven't really watched that many book to movie adaptations, so either Aladdin or 5 Feet Apart. I feel like those two are pretty good contenders. Question number 13, favorite video you've done so far this year. So this one's definitely an easy one. I really like my book expo vlog. I will link that above in case you want to check that out, but I just really liked everything that I put in there, like the clips, the people that I've met, kind of the aesthetic that I put in there as well. Like, I just thought it was a really cute video, and also this music. I feel like I pick such nice music sometimes. I'm like, oh, this music sounds so good. But yeah, I really liked that video. I thought it was just really cool, and of course I just loved the fact that I met so many cool booktubers, bloggers, bookstagrammers, all those people, bookish people out there in real life. So I just really like the experience as well, so definitely my vlog for that. Question number 14, most beautiful book you've bought this year or received this year. So I received this book from the publisher, so that definitely counts, and that is Bloodleaf by Crystal Smith. I mean, look how gorgeous this cover is. I just cannot Like, this cover is just giving me all the feels, and I love it so much. It's just so beautiful. I also love the color scheme. Like, silver and blue, like dark blue, are literally my favorite color scheme. If anything else can probably beat it, would be black and gold. I feel like that is a really nice color scheme as well. But blue and silver, guys, love it. Final question number 15, books that you need to read by the end of the year. So literally so many. I don't know what else to say. There's Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, there's Wicked Fox by Kat Cho, there's Red Sister, the whole series by Mark Lawrence. Literally so many books. I'm like, I need to read them. I have them a lot actually on my June TBR, so I am actually really excited for that. But the question is, will I get to them? So I hope so, guys. I really hope so. And finally, I want to tag some people for this book tag as well. I want to tag Melanie, Amy, Tom, and Nikki. I will link all of their channels down below for you guys to check them out. But that's it. Those are all the questions to this book tag video. And as always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!